What's up, guys? So today we're going to be pulling some suspension, some brakes off, all that good stuff. It's another weekend has come, got some coffee, ready to get some stuff done in this Cabriolet to just continue on with it. So let's get going. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. Not expecting really any of this stuff to come apart easily, seeing how rusted up and corroded it is. Especially that set screw in the rotor. Brought my impact driver with the Phillips head in there. Hammer that loose. But yeah, get it all apart. Brought home some tools from work, so show you guys how to do it. Alright guys, so first things first, you need to spray some of this stuff down with some penetrating oil. There's a lot of stuff out there you can use. One of my favorites I've had a lot of good luck with is the BG Enforce. Good stuff, just soak it down and let it sink in, then you can get all this stuff out of there. So go ahead and do that now. So as you can see, got on the caliper bracket mounting bolts, the bolts that hold the strut to the knuckle. Even gonna go ahead and spray this axle nut down, as that's really rusted. But you're gonna want to do that on everything that's rusted that you got to take apart. A little bit easier than I thought it would be. There's two 15mm that hold the caliper bracket to the knuckle. These ones are on there pretty tight. No way I was going to be getting those off without the 1/2 inch big ratchet. Once you get those two bolts off the caliper bracket, everything comes right off. Now you can use the caliper slide pins and release the caliper from the bracket. In this case, they were just way too stuck on there. Rather than waste time with that, I just went ahead and took it straight off from the bracket. Easier, all complete, and it's going in the trash anyways. Alright, so to save myself the hassle of a mess with all the brake fluid, I'm going to go ahead and use the vacuum bleeder and pull all of the brake fluid out of each caliper side and line. So alright, so like everything else, kind of expected, the brake line connection between the hard line on the body and the caliper line, of course that connection's rusted together, so probably just going to cut that. It's getting all new brake lines anyways, so why fight with it if it's all getting replaced anyways. Alright, next up is the 17s that hold the strut to the knuckle. and that just broke right off. I'll come up top here, get these 13s that hold the strut to the body. Alright, now we're heading over to this tie rod here. Gotta pull the cotter pin out of it. Bit more training oil. It's 19 millimeter. Alright, so since the pickle fork isn't working, we're gonna probably just do what I should have done in the first place. Use this ball joint press. There's a sway bar end link bracket on the control arm. Those are two 13s that are underneath the control arm. We're going to go to this control arm up here. It's 19 millimeter up front. And the rear control arm mounting points, it's a 15 millimeter. So now that we got that control arm and everything disconnected, we can pretty much just pull that out of there. Once I get both hands. I said pry, or I said pull out, it'll just pull out of there, but you'll probably have to pry it out of there. But that's pretty much one side of the suspension all disconnected. As you can see, I had an issue with the tie rod. I may just end up cutting that off. That stuff's all shot anyways, it's getting new. So I'll tinker around with it for a few more minutes, and if I don't have any luck with it, it's getting cut off. But it's pretty much all you need for pulling the front suspension off one side of the car. Now on to the next side. Go ahead and give the pickle fork a shot one more try on that tie rod, and if not, cutting it. Alright, so of course camera died just before breaking the tie rod loose from the knuckle with the pickle fork, so we have to catch that on the next side, which we're about to start on now.
little helpful bit of advice to get this back nut that's on the strut top. I just used a short 13 and a universal. So that's how I got that off. Front suspension off. Alright, so here's all the old stuff. We got the old front struts, springs, rotors, calipers, carriers, everything. Good little collection of hardware, dust, and rust. And then we have front axles, control arms, spindles, or knuckles, whatever you want to call them. Still have the hubs in them. I'll probably take those to work, break those apart. And now we can see up under here. Just gotta get that all cleaned up. Next will probably be the steering rack and everything out of this. So like I said, next we'll be moving on to either the steering system up front, or we'll go and do the rear brakes and suspension like we did here on the front, but obviously just for the rear. So that's about all we're doing today, so catch you guys back here. Alright guys, so you see what we got done today. If you like the video, go ahead and like it, comment if you have anything to say, recommend, and go ahead and subscribe. I'd like to keep doing it and take you guys along with me. Thanks for watching.